Is Medicare and Social Security going away? Are you about to lose your Medicaid benefits forever? If you were to watch the news today or scroll the internet, you might be led to believe that this is imminent. And if you're on Medicare or Social Security or you receive Medicaid benefits, this can be extremely scary. Now, here's the reality. Nobody wants to see their benefits that they've paid into all of their life suddenly disappear overnight, especially if you're retired and you are counting on those benefits. But what if I told you that much of what you're experiencing and seeing right now is nothing more than political blustering? And what if I even went a step further and could show you that this political blustering about cuts to Medicare and Social Security have been going on for years, even decades? And what if once you realize that, you could then come to the knowledge and understanding of what a lot of people in culture right now don't know and have peace of mind, sleep better, and get on with your life and not worry about the news headlines? Well, that's what I'm going to do for you in today's video, so please stay tuned because I'm going to share some things here on my screen that are going to show you why you probably don't need to be as concerned as you are about Medicare and Social Security. If you're new here, my name is Jamie from meetjamie.com. I help people understand how the Medicare program works, as well as connect them with the coverage that fits their needs. Well, here's what I want to talk about in today's video. I found this article today, and I actually had to chuckle out loud because it is an article from 13 years ago almost. And the title of the article from 2012, this is again 13 years ago, is this, and I'm going to share my screen. A campaign full of Medicare. Let me make this a little bit bigger so it's easier for those of you to read online if you're watching. So this is from factcheck.org. This is from August of 2012, and it was updated in 2016. But look at the title that they gave to this article. Again, 13 years ago, over a decade, a campaign full of Medicare. So I'm not going to read the whole article. It's really long, but I will leave a link to it in the description of this video if you want to read it for yourself. But just to give you a little refresher, this was during the Obama and Romney campaign. So President Obama and Mitt Romney, and they were, according to this article, using Medicare. Get this, they even changed the title to Medicare. So the main thing I want you to take away from this video is this political blustering that you're seeing right now on the news is not new. In fact, it is nothing more than a new administration with the old guard on both sides arguing the same old tired thing. Someone asked me today if I was concerned about Medicare benefits or Social Security benefits for seniors, and I said absolutely not. Will there be changes? Absolutely. Will there be cuts to fraud and waste and abuse? There should be. After all, again, we've all paid in these tax dollars. In fact, you can do your own research. You can go back to 2010 and you can read and watch where under President Obama, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, they were all calling for cuts to Medicare waste and fraud and abuse. You can do your own research, but I don't want this video to go on forever, so I want to get back to the article, and I want to just highlight some of what this article says were used. So these are the claims. Again, this is from 2012. So one of the very first claims here is that Medicare is in trouble. It says, let's start off with a reality check. Medicare has major financial challenges. As the population gets older and medical costs continue to rise at current rates, Medicare cannot pay for all the benefits currently promised without an eventual tax increase, more federal borrowing, or both. That's why, look at here, both sides seek some way to slow the increase in medical costs, improve the efficiency of care, or get seniors to use fewer or less expensive medical procedures. And then it goes down and it breaks down how the debate has happened. So point number one is, of course, there's changes that have to happen to these entitlement programs. They have to happen because otherwise it's not sustainable. We have 30-some trillion in debt. But that doesn't mean that you should believe every news story that tells you the other side is going to try to cut things. That is simply fear-mongering. And it goes in, and again, I'll leave this in the description if you want to read all of this. It kind of wraps up this first point right here by saying Medicare is only part of the larger problem. It's a big one. On the current course, under the CBO's alternative scenario, the annual deficit in 2037 would amount to 17% of GDP, compared with just around 8%. So the funding for Medicare and Social Security is a well-known problem that has been established on both sides, and we do need a solution. All right, next claim. The other campaign wants to slash Medicare. Both presidential candidates propose to restrain Medicare spending, yet each points an accusing finger at the other. This should be your very first understanding and knowledge about the news cycle right now. There is a long history of both sides claiming the other side wants to do major cuts. And to pin it on one particular politician or one particular side is naive. You have to look at the history of this stuff. I've been doing this for several years now. I enjoy researching and reading about this. That's why I'm making this video. So what you really have is you do have a funding issue. You have two sides of the political aisle who are pointing the finger at the other one because ultimately, hear this, each side wants to claim political victory at some point in the future, right? So they agree that there's a funding problem. They like to blame both sides. They point the finger at each other that say that side's the problem, this side, the left's the problem, the right's the problem. But their ultimate goal is political victory. That's what they want because they want to maintain power. And so again, it goes in, it talks about this, talks about how, goes into detail about the Affordable Care Act. Again, this was 2012. All right, next point. Don't forget the word in this title of this article is Medicare. Claim seniors will suffer. Again, each side is accusing the other of saddling seniors with higher costs, reduced coverage, or benefit. Campaign commercials often picture individuals who are clearly over 65, implying or saying outright that current Medicare beneficiaries are going to suffer in some way under an opponent's law. A liberal group called the Agenda Project has even recycled a TV ad showing a Paul Ryan-type character dumping an elderly woman over a cliff from a wheelchair. If that's not peak scare tactics, I don't know what is. So you should be very suspicious when you just watch these news headlines. It says both sides do it. In our examples above, the Obama's campaign says that today's seniors would see higher costs, reduced benefits under the Romney-Ryan plan, while Ryan says it's the president cost cutting that will lead to fewer services for seniors. Here's the bottom line. Actually, look at this. Neither campaign's plan changes Medicare for current beneficiaries much at all. This is what I told the guy today that I talked to. He said, "Are you worried about it?" No, because this has been going on for over a decade. We have the internet's forever. We can all go on and read it and see it for ourselves. All right, this video is already going longer than I wanted to. There's some other claims on here. Again, if you want to read the article for yourself, I'll leave it as a link in the description of this video. But here's what I want to say as we close. Don't worry about what you can control. Worry about what you can. And in my experience working with people on Medicare, I see so many people on Medicare who they do themselves a disservice because they get coverage without the right knowledge and understanding of how the Medicare program works. That's something that they could take control over. The gentleman that I talked to you about today, I asked him what insurance company he had his Medicare with. He couldn't tell me the name of the insurance company. But yet he's convinced, because of watching the news, that the whole thing is about to collapse. Listen, it's far more valuable that you know and understand the coverage that you have. You know and understand the annual changes that come in the annual notice of change letter every year. It's so incumbent that you make sure that you're working with a broker, an agent, an advisor who can help you if you feel overwhelmed with all the information. That's something that you can tangibly change and control. And yet most people, they don't do that. They ignore the letters from their insurance company. They're not sure how much they pay. They don't know if their doctor's in network. They don't know if they can go to this new doctor, clinic, hospital, or provider. Focus on what you can control. Give more time and energy to that than what you can't, which is a lot of fear-mongering in the media. Love to know what your thoughts are. If you want to share, feel free to comment below. If you found this video helpful and maybe an encouragement to somebody who's overwhelmed with fear about what's happening, please send this to them, because I think hopefully they'll find it beneficial. They can get on with what's important in their life and not worry about all of the, some people call it metascare, like in this article, and just enjoy their life. So thanks for watching. If you found it helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.